we're live. It is Sunday, August 29th, and the time is 8:18 p.m. It's pretty hot outside, although I don't have my trusty phone on me because I am using it to live stream. I guess I could check on either of my other phones. And, of course, it is 27 degrees outside here in Midtown Toronto. Hello to everyone for joining in. I can't read everyone, but Darius, COVID Hippo, Big S, Sanjay, Fans Buses Gaming, Michelle, Ricardo, Harjot, Kevin, Marg, Alex, Maroof, Bevy, Fans, Yogi, yada yada yada. Hello, Vivian Johnson. Hope you guys enjoyed the week of not having to deal with my streams. I'm going to crack a beer here. We're going to have a Sunnyside Session IPA all the way from wherever the heck it comes from. Oh, it's only 3.9%. Okay. There is boxing on tonight, so I'll probably not have the longest stream. Also, I kind of want to get some sleep and get caught up on things. I don't have any videos saved up. I have one that's uploading right now, so hopefully that upstream is, or the upstream on this stream is holding in there. I'm looking at it on my big screen. It seems to be okay. But if the quality dips, I'll kill the upload of tomorrow's video, which is pretty half-assed. I just kind of filmed it a few hours ago around my neighborhood. So cheers. And the last time I streamed was in this chair last Sunday, and here we are a week later. A lot has happened over the last week. Bevy says my hair is getting longer. Yes, I thought about getting a haircut in New York City while I was there, but I decided against it. I'm just going to get one here probably within the next few weeks. Alex came back from Ottawa yesterday, so we both came back on the same day. Yep, looks like it. Lisa is full from tacos. Excellent tacos. I had some tacos in that market in Dumbo, and they were just okay. And then I had some pretty good tacos, but it was that place where they were playing that annoying teeny bopper music, and everyone was doing the conga line. Well, not everyone. Yeah, you get the idea. Wow, that 5-in-1 shampoo. No, this is the 2-in-1. Although the shampoo in my hotel, despite being a rather nice hotel, did look a little suspect. So I went out and I went to the Dwayne Reed, which was located in the basement of my hotel, and I bought a nice bottle of a Suave brand 2-in-1. I'm reversed. Am I reversed? You know what? My left hand looks like my right hand. Maybe I'm reversed. Can I fix this? Is that better? You know what? When I was setting up the camera, I couldn't quite figure out why things didn't look the way they should. Things looked a bit weird. And I was like, oh well, I guess it just looks different tonight. There we go. We just fixed it. I was reversed. Okay, let's go back. What if I do this? How's this? Is this better? Lisa says the things people notice. I guess you get used to like the distorted symmetry of someone's face, and then when it reverses, I can't believe I had this on backwards. Much better. Well, you're welcome. So the only plan for this stream is to hang out with you guys for a bit. This might only be 45 minutes to an hour long, and I'm going to pull up some pictures from New York City. Can't blame jet lag. Well, I took a 1-hour flight, and I left my friend's house in New Jersey at around 1:30 p.m. and I didn't get here till almost midnight. So all of that for a 1-hour flight. So yeah, maybe not jet lag, but certainly travel lag. It was a pretty annoying experience. Well, I mean, it was and it wasn't. The things that weren't supposed to be good were really good, and then the things that can go wrong on any flight, COVID or not, kind of went wrong, so that's just the way it is. Fans Buses Gaming says I look the same. It was the background. Well, thanks for figuring that out. Timelapse says you need to get to the airport 2 hours before. Yeah, well, for me, with international flights, I always go 3 hours, but I talk about this. Tomorrow's video is just me walking around talking about my trip, and I put some pictures in there. But I always go to international flights 3 hours early. Like, the last thing you want to do is not be able to get to another country. And with my case, my COVID test was about to expire because you had to get your COVID test within 72 hours of departure. And mine was 71 and a half hours before departure. So if I missed my flight and had to take another flight, the airline can't make exceptions, so I would have been SOL. So I just went there super early. But LaGuardia Airport is amazing. I had a digital boarding pass. I walked right through security. It was just like 5 minutes, and everyone was friendly. And next thing I knew, I had 2 hours and something, 55 minutes to wait. Little did I know my flight would be delayed, and then it would be delayed again. And then when we got to Toronto, there was no gate, so we sat on the tarmac for like 45 minutes with nowhere to park the plane. It was a really stupid experience, but the whole LaGuardia Airport part was pretty good. Lisa gets the worst anxiety before traveling. And for both of my flights, my carry-on bag, which isn't that big, the first flight it wouldn't fit in the overhead compartment. It was this tiny little plane. I don't know where the hell they found it. So I had two options. Gate check it, no, or slide it under the seat. So I slid it under the seat in front of me. I'm not sure how it fit, and I sat kind of awkwardly. And then coming back, I did the same thing. There was no room in the overhead because I was the last person to board the plane. It's the first time in my life I've been the last person to board the plane. But there's a good reason for that. So I slid the luggage below my seat again. Alomore, welcome back from my former Chelsea, New York City neighborhood. Where's Chelsea? Thank you very much for the $9.99 Alomore. Once we get up there we're already over 100 viewers. I was going to say, once we get over 100, I'll start going through some pictures. It's not going to take that long to go through them. I don't know New York. Oh, you were... I was in Chelsea. I'm pretty sure I was in Chelsea. I was in Greenwich Village. Where is this from the Comedy Cellar on McDougal? All right, so a little further than I thought. But I walked through George Washington Square Park here, or Washington Square Park, and I wandered around Greenwich Village and this area before the show. That was went around NoHo a bit, the East Village a bit. I walked through Chinatown with Action Kid. In Manhattan, I walked all the way down this fancy area, Madison Avenue, past the Chrysler Building. At the Chrysler Building, I got some 99-cent pizza. And then I walked over to the Empire State Building. I found a Target right here. And I went through Target, but hey, happy birthday, Vivian Johnson. I didn't know it was Vivian Johnson's birthday. Let's sing a happy birthday to her. Happy birthday. No, I can't sing, but happy birthday, Vivian. I tried to walk through Central Park, but I got about here and I gave up, so I walked over to here and then I walked all the way down. Actually, no, I cheated. I took the subway around some hospital, or I think it was a Jewish university around here. I took the subway down to Penn Station, then I walked over to the Chrysler Building, and that's what I did. And you walked the bridge. I got mad at how hot it was in the bridge when I was there, with their dude selling water. Yes, $1 a water. If you watch Action Kids live stream through Dumbo, we were actually hanging out in Dumbo before that. We grabbed some lunch in the market, and I wanted to walk the bridge. And I think I didn't want to hang around on his live stream. I think that's kind of lame when people do that, especially if you don't have proper microphones. So I just thought it'd be cool to hang out at the start of his live stream. So I did just for the first few minutes, and then he recorded me setting off on my way down the bridge, and I found some friendly people to take my picture for me. So there are some pictures coming up from the bridge. I only stole maybe 20 or 30 pictures from my album. I wasn't, and I went to a lot of cool places where I didn't even take pictures. It might have been because I was drunk, but oh well. The guy selling $1 water is annoying. It's repetitive audio. I didn't hear any of that time lapse, and I saw about 10 people selling $1 water. And then, so 4 days in New York City, did some cool stuff, and then I stayed in New Jersey, and I got driven all around. I went through Hoboken, and then there's some awesome Korean restaurants up here. And then, yeah, that was that. Did you go to the 9/11 memorial? Yes, you will see that. Vivian Johnson had birthday dinner with family at Montana's. That sounds good. What did you have at Montana's? Aaron says, here's to being able to travel again. Yes, thankfully. I'll show you, leaving Canada is far more annoying than coming back to Canada. By a factor of 10, even though I had all those delays. So when we go through the pictures, I'll show you that. And in my video tomorrow, I was just me yammering about my trip for 30 minutes. So it's really more of a blog, I guess, or a vlog than one of my usual walking videos. But oh well, we'll figure it out. And what's funny was the video I posted today, which is doing really well. I did not think, look at that. It's already 6.8K. My videos never get that in the first day. This was like a half-assed backup video. I got at the airport so early, I didn't even record with the external audio for the first half of the video. That's why it sounds like hot garbage. So I edited that on my laptop. I was so tired I didn't even want to come to my desktop. I edited that on my laptop from bed, uploaded it, woke up at like noon today, and like holy shit, it was doing well. And I wasn't even going to use this video. My plan was to come home and make a video when I got back, but hey, what do you know? The lazy half-ass video is kicking butt, even with the crappy audio. Alex says even your 2020 airport video got... Yeah, I wish I did a LaGuardia airport video, especially with the renovations, but I did not do any videos in New York. None. Did you see the Oculus too? Yes, I did. I went to World Trade Center 4. I have a friend who works there. Funny story, the guy who named my channel, Johnny Strides, works in World Trade Center 4. So he invited me up to like the 55th floor, and the company, which is actually the company I used to work at, which ironically is on the 55th floor in First Canadian Place, and has the whole floor, has that same floor in the World Trade Center. Pretty fancy company, liking probably the best real estate in both cities. Easily the most expensive real estate in both cities, with the best views anywhere you could ask for. But he invited me up to that floor, so I got to walk around the office building and look out. So I didn't do like the Empire State lookout, I didn't do the World Trade Center lookout, or any of the other opportunities, just because I kind of had that unique look there. But copying the airports walk, I'll do some more airport walks as I travel in the future. But with the United States in particular, I didn't really want to do that. So, and I talk about that in my video tomorrow. Tech Needs Tea is here. Tech, I was just in your new adopted country. Long time no see. When are you? Has Tech Needs Tea done anything lately? What the poop is this? You haven't streamed in 2 months. I'm getting off of here. We're never going to bring your channel up again until you stream. And congrats to fans for 2.43 subscribers. 2,400 is a better measure. The Walking Man dude, have you recovered from the arm wrestling beating I gave you? Yes. I met the Walking Man dude, and we had an arm wrestle. This, I mean, meeting Action Kid was cool, but this was just so much better. I don't know why the quality hasn't come in yet. Walking Man Dude with his classic choice in music, but man, you cannot compare Dundas Square to Times Square. For people watching, they're both remarkably interesting. Is that the right word? They both seem to attract the same kind of crowd, which is not really the crowd you see everywhere else in the city. So that's kind of interesting. But other than that aspect, there's no comparison between the two. Just different scale. Both equally tacky. Both equally everything. It's just Times Square is like 10 times the size. Yeah, and they have those cool guys that dress up in costumes. Hopefully Walkman Dude doesn't copyright me for that. How's the sky there right now? I don't know, it's dark. I'm waiting for the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight, by the way. Once we get around that time, I'm going to be dipping. Showtime pay-per-view. If you're wondering where to catch that. You mean the guy who's dressed up? You know, I had some of those CD scammers trying to hand me a CD, and I learned from Action Kid's video. No. Photos from around New York says, is that tonight? What time? I think the pay-per-view started at 8. But there's 5 fights in total, and 4 of them, they always really draw these things out, right? So it's not going to be till like probably after 10 at least. This stream will be long dead by then. And no, we're not going to play games tonight. I know some people want to play games, but no, we're not. Did you try a Shake Shack burger in New York? You know what? I did. I did have a Shake Shack burger, but it was in LaGuardia Airport waiting for my flight. No, the CD guys didn't get to me. Bet he had someone who creeped out and was following. That happens when you're live streaming. You just gotta change course and confirm that they're following you. Hello, Emo's music channel. How much did the COVID test cost? We're gonna talk about that later. But one thing I forgot to mention in my video today was I actually got 2 COVID tests in New York City. And there's a reason for that. I can talk about that in a bit when the right picture comes up. Walking Man Dude says this is the epic part. Alright, let's tune in. Colette! Greetings, Colette. Justin says, did you see any rats? I saw rats all over the place. I saw rats in Central Park. Funny Dog, welcoming me back. Thank you, Funny Dog. He's getting close to me. That's hilarious, Tech. A bear? I think you're going to be able to see me pretty soon. There I am. Hey, you. Are you Walking Man Dude? He must be here for that arm wrestle. Alright. Let's go, buddy. Thank you, Jeanette. So, 468 views for a Walking Man Dude. That's not bad. So it seems as if the Walking Man Dude is alive again. He started to crank out videos again. Head over to this channel. I did get to meet him, and truthfully, after the arm wrestle, he bought me a beer. The dude is a really cool dude. I can't believe I got to meet the Walking Man dude. He shook my hand and almost crushed it with his dude bulk and strength. And what's crazy is I tried to message Action Kid. I'm like, dude, I met the Walking Man dude. But I think he was busy live streaming, so he wasn't able to come. It's kind of like the Pokeroo. You know how you always miss the guy in Polka Dot Door always misses the Pokeroo? I think that was the case. The Walking Man dude says he had trouble with Johnny. I think you were letting me win, Walking Man dude. Anyways, 375 subscribers. How many people are watching this stream? We have 152 people watching this stream. I know not all of you have subscribed to the Walking Man dude. So let's go over here. Did he take his ski mask off? No, he did not. He looked exactly like the picture, but no, he did not take his ski mask off. Emma says, how is using ArriveCan on heading back? No one. For those who don't know, ArriveCan is an app that you need to complete before you come back to Canada if you're visiting Canada. All you do is you answer a few questions. If you have a vaccine, you attach your proof of that. If you don't, you skip it. And then you confirm that you have a PCR test. And then you put in your passport number. The airport, Air Canada asked me if I did it. And that was it. Nobody checked it. Nobody looked at it. So what I think is when you go to the machine in Toronto, the customs machine, and you scan your passport, and that's when you declare anything, I think that links up to the information you put in ArriveCan, because the customs officer didn't ask to see it either. So I think it just all kind of connects in the background. But yeah, once I went through customs, I was free to go. I was a free man. There was no COVID testing. There was no quarantine. It was literally get off the plane, go to the machine like you always did, line up, talk to a customs officer like you always do, and then you're free to go. So there was one guy there like panicking because he didn't know how to download the app. Like, how did you not know that? How did you get to the airport? I don't know. And he was being kind of belligerent. That's maybe why I have a negative opinion rather than being sympathetic with him. But the ArriveCan app was a piece of cake. Coming back to Canada was pretty easy, actually. Leaving Canada sucked because of the part where you line up for 2 hours at customs, but no full cavity search. No, but I did the body scanner at both airports. I forgot to take off my belt. I had my wallet in my pocket. I had all my watch on. Boom, no one cared. I just went into the body scanner and I walked right through. So that was pretty good. But honestly, arriving did not take any longer than it normally would. Just leaving did because of U.S. Customs. But sometimes U.S. Customs backs up. And I had a super groggy dude who was asking me, like, what's your job? I'm like, well, I quit my job. He's like, how are you going to pay? I'm like, I have money in the bank account. Why are you going to New York? Well, I'm sightseeing. Really? Is that all you're doing there? I'm like, fuck, do you know I'm Johnny Strides? I swear I'm not working there. Man, this guy woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But I got out of that and I was free to go. That was the only bad experience, was that jerk face in U.S. Customs. But other than that, everything was good. And I didn't lie to him. I didn't make videos for myself in New York. So I guess everyone has a bad day sometimes. I don't know. Maybe the guy just hates life. But I was pleasant. I smiled. I was friendly. I mean, usually in my experience, that's enough to get you out of trouble. A lot of the customs dudes are surly, yes. He just needed Starbies. But the security people in LaGuardia Airport were angels. They were fantastic. I usually have negative experiences in American airports. This was like a brand new airport. Like, brand new. You could eat off the floors. Employees were fantastic. It was like, every time I've been in New York, it's usually through JFK. It's like stepping into a third world country where everyone's angry and hates their job. But I don't know, maybe it was the renovation, but I had nothing but a good experience in LaGuardia. It was, other than the fact that LaGuardia doesn't have an airport train. But that was cool because I got the 1 week Metro card, and I took a local bus, not the express bus, and I took that through Queens, so I got to ride through Queens, and I got off at a subway station. Ali BHG says hi to Action Kid. Is Action Kid here? Am I blind? Am I not seeing that? Action Kid is here. Action Kid says no videos in New York. Frowny face. Yeah, but you know what, Action Kid? For all those wanting to see the collab, man, you just crank out videos. That was a while ago. This video I did with the Action Kid wasn't really something we talked about or planned. Totally unscripted. He's just a really nice guy, and he's super knowledgeable about New York. So what was cool was we were kind of hanging out, and he was just like, let's do the video. And I like, let's go Soho to Chinatown. Like, we just kind of made up the walk on the spot. We didn't talk about rules, like what are we going to talk about, like, it was just purely organic. So that was really cool. Actually, when he threw the camera on me, I was like, shit, we're live, all right. And I kind of blurted out a little intro there. So that was, of all the videos I've ever done, that was the most natural and unscripted video, and I kind of want to do more videos like that. So I'm looking forward to, I'm going to try to collab with Ken at some point. I just really like the idea of no rules, just straight up talking. It's almost like a podcast rather than one of our usual walking videos. And I mean, it was neat because Soho and Chinatown were areas I was even expecting to explore. So it was really cool to see their Chinatown. I think, yeah, I don't know. Bevy says collab with me in October. I'll guarantee you a Stumbles collab. If you want a Strides collab, you're going to have to pay up. I'm just kidding, Bevy. I'm sure we'll make it work. And we'll get maybe we'll do a 3-way collab. That could be interesting. Action Kid likes the subway discussion. Speaking of, the worst subway, you know, I thought my video was doing good because I did a collab with G Corp. That would be cool. I did a really half-assed video today that kind of blew up for my channel, but then I look at Action Kid's channel and he's already got 21K, and man, if you could take the cleanliness of Toronto's subway and Toronto's subway cars with the open gangways, trust me, the cars in New York are horseshit. They're narrow, they're crowded, they're loud and screechy, they're dirty. If you could take those elements of our subway along with the expansive network that they have in New York, I think you would have an unbeatable transit system. Even Tokyo, Seoul, they would have trouble matching that. It would be unbelievable. But as it stands, yeah, New York, best subway in North America. Nothing even comes close in terms of getting around. But it's also decrepit and vomit-inducing. I saw a lady on the platform stop, pull down her skirt, take a piss, hike up her skirt, and walk away. And I looked, and there was a very interesting person in their own right sitting there. And she looked at me and goes, "Now that's some shit." You know? She goes, "I ain't never seen no shit like that." And I was like, this is the most New York thing ever. It was pretty awesome, but yeah. And then I see this video by Action Kid, so yeah, there was some shit going on in New York, literally and physically. But hey, the subway itself is amazing, just to get around. Although one weird thing is Manhattan, everything seems to go north to south, going east to west. I think north to south they call them avenues, east to west they call them streets, and it's numbered. So in your mind, it's pretty easy to navigate. It's just going east to west is kind of annoying because I found myself just walking a lot. Emma says they've really expanded the MRT and BTS in Bangkok. Yes, the BTS is excellent. It's weird that they're separate systems. Yes, Action Kid, I saw you. I was watching your stream. You did see some poop. I'm glad you did. That was right near the end of your stream. Ian's talking about Andy Byford. He went from the UK to Toronto to New York back to the UK. I can't say I'm a collector. Did you try some New York pizza? I had pizza at Italy just because it was convenient to where I was. And then I had 99-cent pizza. But other than that, I was only there for 4 nights, plus 1 night in New Jersey. I didn't have enough time. Anyways, we've been blabbing on. Let me pull up some pictures here. But yeah, check out this collab. And also here, this is when I hung out with Action Kid in Dumbo for a bit. And then he recorded his video. I walked across the bridge. And here, this was my first day in New York City, I think. And I ran into Action Kid. He just happened to be in Midtown. So it was really cool. He came by and showed me around Hell's Kitchen, which was really cool. And then he went off and made this video. And then I think he did a live stream. Something like that. I might have my... I think this was the live stream that he did. And then he later posted the video. Yeah, that's it. But there I am. Awkwardly waving. You should have tried Prince Street Pizza. You know how many places there are in New York where people say you need to try, you should try? It's not any other city. It's just not possible to do all of that stuff. It's pretty big. I'm going to be back, and I'm going to figure out the recording situation, and I'm going to definitely make some videos there. If for some reason the winter rolls around and I still can't go to like somewhere far, I would honestly rather go back to New York than go most other places. So I guess you could say I liked it. As much as Toronto, as Steve Martin would say, Toronto is just like New York without all the stuff, right? But no, I don't think I like it as much as Toronto. But I would go back. I think it's easily the second best city in North America. No offense, Action Kid. Did you get an I Love New York t-shirt? No, I didn't. I talked about that on Action Kid's collab. Ali BHG saw the photo. That was inside the hotel. We met in the lobby of my hotel because we had this cool rooftop hangout area. Anyways, I went through my Google Photos and I picked out a few of the pictures. So we're just going to go through some of them here. This is my hotel. It was called the M Social. So no, there won't be any hotel review. But there it is, the M Social at Times Square. So here's Central Park, here's Times Square. I was right here, pretty much on the corner. There's my... Oh, and here it's the Novotel. So it's a brand new hotel, actually. And on my first night, I was feeling kind of lazy. And I noticed right next door is this place. Gallagher's. And it was a steak restaurant. Little did I know, it's like the best steak restaurant in New York City, at least according to everything I read and looked up. Or every list at least had it in the top 2 or top 3. So I went to Gallagher's. If you've ever been to Barbarians in Toronto, it's very, very similar to Barbarians in Toronto. It's like the old school motif. Everything's got that kind of maroon feel. They were even playing Frank Sinatra. But anyways, I went to Gallagher's. Then I walked my ass all the way back home. Not the Novotel, it's the M Social. But back to the photos. So this is where I met AK. There's Times Square in the background. My stupid ass is blocking the Ferris wheel. So no video. Sorry guys, but I'll show some pictures. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. That's just me hanging around at Times Square. Action Kid probably took it. There's the thumbnail. It's a very colorful picture. I don't know if we're looking north or south. Johnny, what was your most shocking part and most wonderful part about the trip? Most shocking part was probably the woman peeing in the subway. The most wonderful part, probably just crossing the Brooklyn Bridge. It was pretty amazing. That's a view from Central Park. These hotels here are on Billionaires Row. You might notice they're super thin. We actually have a few of these planned for Toronto coming soon. This super thin style. But in New York, they don't have they just can't build skyscrapers. They have to buy the air rights from all the surrounding properties. So in order to build so tall, they had to build so thin and buy all the buildings around it. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, if you live here or here or here or anywhere, you are super duper wealthy. Action Kid told me to cross the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, that if you could only do one thing in New York, I would say that would be like the one thing that I would do, more than Central Park. Who's that idiot? By the way, if you want to see these pictures or better versions of these pictures or just more pictures, go to my Instagram. I was learning how to use Instagram on this trip. Is that St. Paul's Cathedral? I think it's the oldest church in New York. Right around the corner from my hotel. Kind of cool. If you're into that sort of thing. It's certainly beautiful architecture. Just don't get hit by a biker on the bridge. Did you see the Dakota and strawberry fields? No, I didn't. We're going to be through these pictures pretty quick. For the person asking if I saw the 9/11 memorial, yes, I did. They have St. Patrick's, that's it. They have cutouts on the footprints of the 2 World Trade Center buildings. Well, 2 of the 3 that were lost on September 11th. The third one, they don't like to acknowledge very much, World Trade Center 7. But anyways, and it has the names of all or most of the victims. And if they're fire department or police, it has that beside their name. There's World Trade Center 1, currently the tallest building in America. So yeah, this is a ground zero right here. And there I am, posing for a goofy picture. Did you get an eerie feeling? You know, I didn't. But I had just come out of the Oculus, which is this, like Lisa was talking about earlier, which is this kind of... If I could describe the Oculus, I would say it's like the New York version of BCE Place. It's got that same kind of feel to it. It's really cool. And there I am, eating my Italy pizza, drinking my very expensive beer next to the World Trade Center. I was just killing time here, waiting to go up World Trade Center 4 with my old coworker to look around. But honestly, we have Italy in Toronto, so I don't know if this was the best idea for a place to go, but it was convenient. And when I peeked inside and I saw there was a table looking right next to the window, I did. And there's the view from World Trade Center 4. And that's a view of, this here is Jersey City. And this is the river. These buildings here look so much like the Aon building in Toronto. Don't they? Toronto Aon building? I've always thought they look just like the Aon building. Is that the only picture you're going to give me, the top? It's on York Street. I don't really feel like finding it on Google Maps. You're just going to have to trust me. They all look like the Aon building. There is the money shot looking north to Midtown. These towers here are right next to Central Park. There's the Empire State Building. And the Chrysler building is just off to the right. Unfortunately, didn't get the Chrysler building off. Whippy Dude says Brookfield Place. It's BCE to me. Did you go to the Deloitte? I don't know. I probably walked by it. Did you try to get Dunkin' Donuts? I had Dunkin' Donuts coffee. The real man, you missed nothing. You missed me watch knock out Logan Paul earlier. There I am eating the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. That's Balthazar. If you look up best French restaurants in NYC, I'm sure Balthazar will be at the top of the list. No. How is it not? Was I led wrong? Maybe I just read someone else. There it is, number 8. I knew it was going to be on the list, but I overheard people talking about it. Then I overheard other people talking about it, so I knew something was up. So I made plans to come here, and since there was so much fish on the menu, I went for lamb. Did you and Action Kid take notes about your vlogging? You know what? We just kind of talked about like cities and stuff like that. We didn't really talk a whole lot about the art of what we do. So it was pretty cool. He's just like a normal, cool guy that's easy to hang out with. It was a lot of fun. Did you have an NY slice? Did you know an NY slice is a za? I did. There's Times Square in all of its tacky glory, but what's cool is this Ferris wheel started up there. Yeah, he says, look at the window, the storm started. I don't see shit, I just see black. Rolling with Ian with the lame pun there. The Ferris wheel started up the night after, though, so that was cool. But there's Lisa D's favorite place in the whole world, right next to, after Dundas Square. I think she prefers Dundas Square a little better. They keep the nears. Yeah, they do. I think the ball would be behind me on the left from this vantage point, though. Why is the Ferris wheel a hard no? This is like... Honestly, you see bigger Ferris wheels in, like, carnivals that set up in random strip malls. It's not a big or impressive Ferris wheel. It's just like a little kiddie one. I guess it's the location that's cool. If they make it permanent... I think it's... I heard in Action Kids... stream, the Ferris wheel is only temporary and it's leaving in September. But I think it would be really cool if they built like a bigger ass one on that spot. That would be pretty cool. You're scared of heights? Then you're coming to Toronto? We're a bit known for our heights. They're taking it down in 920. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of a cool addition, I think. Times Square is the safest place in the United States. Just because the police are there doesn't necessarily... Like, it feels safe, but during Action Kids stream, someone said that there were gunshots there today. But they definitely need a bigger wheel than that. Hey, look at that idiot. Who's that idiot? Like I said, I was not taking pictures, and sometimes it's hard to bug someone to take your picture. Rolling with Ian likes the Ferris wheel at Coney Island. I didn't get to go to Coney Island. There is one of the most iconic shots in all of New York City. Tom Tim Tung says there was a shooting at Yorkdale today. That sucks. But there is the Brooklyn Bridge. There's a really antique restored carousel. And of course the downtown skyline. And I think these here are like old rent-controlled buildings that are very... I don't know, they look quite different than the rest of the area. Where's the walking man, dude? Probably in the trash can. Probably. So what Action Kid... we were walking around this area, and he took me around to way off to the left. And I walked up here and all the way across the bridge. And I've seen so many videos of him and other New Yorkers riding their bike across the bridge, a few of them walking, and you just have this sort of, it's almost iconic, the visual image you get. And I definitely think I walked it in the right direction. I think you want to go from Dumbo to Midtown, because whenever I looked around and looked behind me, it was never as impressive. So yeah, if you're going to walk it, get your ass to Dumbo, explore Dumbo, because it's a really cool place, and then walk this way. And then you can go to the Wall Street Bull if you want. You can see the bull's balls, but yeah, that was cool. I liked it. And it didn't take that long to walk across, even though it was really hot. One thing you don't see in New York that you see in Toronto everywhere are the cranes. If this were a picture of Toronto, a third of these buildings wouldn't even be completed yet, and they would just be cranes and scaffolding. So that's definitely a big difference. Did you go to the floating park? I don't think I did. We walked around it. There I am eating something at this market in Dumbo. What they have is they have all these little kitchens, and they are all kind of like smaller outlets of more popular, famous restaurants from around New York City. So they kind of brought them all into this one space. And there I am having a chicken Caesar with some bread I didn't eat and a delicious beer. Like the food halls here. Yeah, kind of. But I've heard that the food at these places is not as good as their actual locations, but people always say stuff like that all the time, right? Whenever you're eating something and it's not the original, someone will tell you that the original is better, and I think they're just kind of showing off when they do that. Action Kid likes that picture. Sweet. Who took your photo? I was here with Action Kid, Sanjay. There's another picture of the Brooklyn Bridge. And what's interesting is you have this massive cluster of skyscrapers downtown and Midtown, but between them there's not a whole lot. It's pretty low. Whereas like the Toronto skyline, you have Aura, Bloor Yonge. You kind of have tall buildings all the way up Yonge. So it's kind of interesting that in New York you don't really have big skyscrapers up here. You sort of have two very distinct skylines. It's kind of cool. But if you zoom out, it looks all it looks kind of like one big ass skyline. Are you tired of people telling you that you look like you're 20? No one has told me that in like 10 months. Hey, there I am making a stupid face. Alright, Tech Needs Tea, good to see you back. Let us know when you are streaming again. There I am with Action Kid, and the random person who took this picture held the camera a little crooked, and I didn't straighten it, but... And there is, when I started walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, apparently, I asked Action Kid what the hell these things were, and these things are guards, apparently, to stop people from climbing over it. Alright, I see the thunder, I see the lightning. So that was my walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. Apparently I took this picture twice. Hey, windy up there. Maybe that's why it wasn't so hot. Alright, Kohana, have a good night. I think I put this picture in tomorrow's video because I kind of like this picture. I think this is a pretty good picture of what to expect. I'm standing in the bike lane actually, but I'm in a corner, so no bicycle would ever go where I'm standing right now because they couldn't. But basically, they have this divider here and all the bikes ride, but according to what I heard, this is going to be gone soon, and the whole thing is going to be pedestrians, and then the bike lanes will be moved down to where the traffic is. So it'll be very different walking along the Brooklyn Bridge when cyclists don't have to dodge pedestrians who keep wandering in their way. And I have no sympathy for pedestrians who do that. Like, I made sure the coast was clear and ran into the corner here. I was not going to be one of those people in a YouTube video walking in the bike side. But yeah, it'll be cool, because then I guess it'll be maybe kind of shitty for cyclists, because they'll be down here with all the traffic. Their view won't be as good. I don't know. Funny Dog says, are there many bike lanes? They have it so... You know what? New York has way more bike lanes than us, but I've never seen a bike lane there that wasn't blocked by traffic or by someone moving shit in it. Or, like, they have bike lanes, but they don't respect them. It's worse than here. Like, if you ride down Adelaide, you're going to come across at least 20 idiots blocking the bike lane. And if you think that's bad, take a look at New York. That is bad. But yeah, they have bike lanes. And here I am at, this is Rockefeller Center. So I walked around 30 Rock, where they film SNL and all this stuff. What's crazy about that is all their film studios are in, like, skyscrapers. And they all have very, very small studios. I think they just use, like, a wide-angle lens and make it look bigger. But apparently there's not a whole lot of people at any of those studios. And by the way, Broadway shows were just starting up. There was like one of them running. Most of them aren't going to be running till November, December, some even January. Some of the off-Broadway has started, but it's not yet back up and running, but it will be soon. And there was one that I would have loved to have gone to with Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster starring in it. Sutton Foster is the tall girl from that show Younger. That was right next to my hotel, but that show hadn't yet opened up yet. So really, there wasn't a whole lot. But apparently, this is kind of end of summer is kind of a changeover period for a lot of Broadway, anyways. So I didn't go at the best time. But if stuff was running, I definitely would have got tickets and gone to see something. There's a classic image for you, the Rainbow Room. So this is all in Midtown Manhattan. I think that's even in the intro to Saturday Night Live, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just cool seeing stuff like this that you see on TV, because I don't remember any of this shit from my first time in New York. So it was really cool seeing stuff like this that you constantly see images of on TV and in movies in person. There's the Ferris wheel. This is after it was operating. As you can see, it's just a tiny one. And it's kind of in that canyon, so you really wouldn't get a view till you're up near the top. But I guess that was cool. I didn't take pictures. You know, Lisa, the Comedy Cellar, when you're in line at the Comedy Cellar, you show them your vaccine proof. They make you put your phone in a plastic pouch and your wristwatch. And I wasn't ready for this. So I was like doing my thing, messaging people, and next thing I know, my phone is sealed away. I'm holding it in a pouch. And if I open that pouch, I'm not allowed into the show. So that's what happened. Now, I was originally going to see Al Franken, but I bumped my ticket to the later show, and I saw Dave Attell was who's a legendary comic. I've seen him on like a million podcasts before. He was the so-called headliner. They don't really do headliners at the Comedy Cellar. Everyone just kind of gets 15 minutes. Then the last guy gets like 20 minutes. Absolutely packed inside. You did have to be double vaxxed. You couldn't... Anything else you weren't allowed in. But what was neat was we were shoulder to shoulder. Of course, I was in the very front row looking up at the comedian like this. But it was my first time being in that environment, completely maskless. Nobody had a mask on. Some of the comedians were even joking about that. But it was just surreal to be in a room with people shoulder to shoulder in a basement where you know circulation is not good. No masks, everyone just drinking and having fun. So that was cool. And the MC asked if there are any out-of-towners, and everyone kind of yelled, "Yeah, I am." I raised my hand. And then he's like, "This dude in the front, this is a polite motherfucker. I ask you where you're from," and everyone yells. This guy raises his hand. Then he asks where I'm from, and I'm like, "Canada." And I think that might have got like the biggest laugh of the night. That was funny. So, just because it played, I think maybe he knew, because it just played into his hand so perfectly. But that was, Comedy Cellar was great. And the no mask thing, like, I already had my 72-hour prior to departure COVID test done. So, like, I was like, whatever. Everyone here is vaccinated. I'm not wearing a mask either. Plus, you're eating and drinking the whole time. So, I kind of wish we had more stuff like that. Just feeling normal with common sense rules in place. And it was fun. All the comedians were great. I love going to comedy shows. So, yeah, there was that. And speaking of COVID testing, this was right before I went to the Comedy Cellar. This is where I got my COVID test. At least my first COVID test. I got this 72 hours. You have to get your COVID test 72 hours before departure. So this was right before that mark. And this is Times Square. And you see pharmacies and clinics where they all say, $150 24-hour COVID test. And then I started seeing these pop-up things all over the city. And they were free. And I was like, this is free. I don't trust this. And the Canadian government has like travel requirements, right? It has to have the name of the lab. It has to have your full name. It has to have the time you were tested on it. It has to be a PCR test. It has to show that it's negative. And it has to be within 72 hours of your departure. And I thought, okay, do I go to a clinic and pay them like $175? Or do I go to this free tent that thousands of people are using? And then what if I don't get an email? What if I don't get the text message, right? What if they don't accept it? Like, when you go to a pharmacy or a clinic, you have a phone number. You paid them money. They owe you service. These people don't owe you anything. So I was a bit hesitant. So I got a test here. And then what happened was I lined up. It took about 5 minutes. They take your information. How do you know it's legit? Well, I'm assuming they wouldn't allow a non-legit one to operate in Times Square. I'm pretty sure the city would shut that down in 2 seconds if it wasn't legit. But I had a backup plan. So I decided, let's save some money. I'll do it here at the earliest possible time, right? Right at 71 and a half hours before departure. I thought, I'll do this free test, and I'll have my results back. And if it's bullshit, I'll just go get another test, and I'll pay for that. So I did it here. By the time I woke up the next morning, I had my results. About 4 hours after I did it, they sent me the antigen test results, and that one's not accepted, but that's a negative. Then about 10 hours later, they sent me the full PCR test results, and that is what I ended up using at the airport and giving to showing the customs lady. But just in case, there was another free testing center right across the street from my hotel. So I went there and did it. Gave them my name, gave them all my contact info. And you know what? I never heard from them. I never got the email. I never got... So I went back, because it was... And I was like... It was just outside of my hotel. And I'm like, you guys said it would be 24 hours. I never heard back from you. She goes, oh, just wait another 4 hours. Sometimes it's late. Another 4 hours went by. Nothing. And then I'm like, do I call them? I already had my test from this place. This is my ticket back. So I just decided to let the first one go. But I would have been fucked, because if my flight was canceled and rescheduled, this test wouldn't have been good anymore, because it was over 72 hours, and the airline can't make exceptions for that. Either way, it all worked out. But my advice is, if you're in New York City, the free tests work. They're legit. Carl Roth, no, you can't get a travel test free. You have to pay for the travel test because you get a special document with it. But my advice is, if you go to New York, just do 2 free tests from 2 different labs. One of them's got to be good. And do one at the 72-hour mark, and then do one right before you leave. And if you do it right before you leave, if your flight gets delayed or canceled, you'll still be within the 72-hour mark for that test when you take off. Just a little gaming the system there. But honestly, no big deal. It takes 5 minutes. It's free. They're friendly. At least these people gave me my results. And they give you a link to a website. Like, if the government questions if this is real or fake, it'll go right to the lab's website, and they can log in and they can see it that way. So that made me feel pretty good. It was a perfectly legit test. I just questioned it at the start. Was it the one up your nose? Yes, it was the one up my nose. But I think, as a backup, do 2 tests. Did you go to Grand Central? Yes, I did go to Grand Central. I went to Grand Central and I went to Penn Station. I had to go to was it Grand Central or Penn? I had to go to one of them to catch the New Jersey Transit, because I had to take a train to Secaucus. So that was fun. That was like their GO train. Anyways, enough about testing. Go get your free test, folks. If you're going to New York City, do not pay for a test on the way back. Get it free. And they test you outside. You don't go into the van, so it's perfectly safe. This is me at Cafe Reggio, NJ Trans is only... So it was Penn Station where I was. This is me at a cafe right next to the Comedy Cellar. I was waiting for the comedy show to start. And this was next to my hotel, so that was cool. That was one of those sort of iconic New York City things that you really don't get to see, or you see so many times on TV or movies. And again, the whole studio is like in this building. It's not like a big ass... It's not Massey Hall, we'll put it that way. But yeah, love Colbert. Yeah, Letterman was my favorite of the last generation of hosts. He was such a hard act to follow, but Colbert did it. He does it quite well. And he handled the COVID, doing it at home, pretty well himself. There's another shot from when I went back to Central Park. Would you live in New York City? I would need my YouTube channel to like double if I could even afford to live in New York City. It's not cheap. I mean, Toronto's not cheap, but New York City is really not cheap. So I would still prefer Toronto. I think Toronto, I don't know. I can't talk about this. I went there. You can't go somewhere as a tourist and have opinions on if it's worth living in or not. So I'll just put my sock in my mouth right now and stop talking about that. But if I couldn't live here, yeah, that would be my second choice. Did you see Trump Tower? I saw Trump Tower up on, it was near Fifth Avenue and something. I do remember seeing it. Is it still the Ed Sullivan Theater? I'm sure it is. But yeah, I can't talk about which city is better for living. I mean, New York is full of Toronto transplants. Hey, I had all my ducks in a row. That's at Central Park. There's the building I was most looking forward to seeing. That was the Chrysler building. And this building was in a height race, so this entire top of the building was constructed in secret inside, and it came up through the top. And they have these like gargoyle things. What's crazy is the Chrysler building, it's right around the corner from Penn Station, but it doesn't, the Empire State Building is very commanding. It just draws you in. The Chrysler building is very nondescript. Like, it just kind of, at street level, there's nothing special going on. It just kind of blends in. You don't feel like you're standing anywhere special. if you look up, you can't see any of the roof element here. You have to go away from the building in order to see this, just the way it tapers. But I had 99-cent pizza right across the street from it, so that was cool. There's another view of the Chrysler Building, and there is the granddaddy, the Empire State Building. I was making my way over to Target. I wanted to see the New York City Target. I don't know, that type of thing just made me curious. And there's a Target, there's a whole shopping area just past it. So I walked this way, and I got a few views at this. Carl Roth says Ottawa is too cold. There is the Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster, the Music Man. That is the Winter Garden. We have the Elgin in Winter Garden. They have the Winter Garden. There's Dwayne Reed, right 1 block away from another Dwayne Reed. This here is the Red Line. You could pop into the subway there. My hotel is right here. There's Times Square and the Ferris wheel. But yeah, there's the Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster play that I would have bought tickets to if I could have. I probably would have bought them in advance. There I am eating some rooftop tacos at Cantina Rooftop. But at least it had this nice view. I mean, there's not too many low rooftops in New York City where you get a pretty expansive view of the skyline. What time do you get up? In New York City, I got up around noon most days. Harjot went to the beaches yesterday. There's the view of the... this was after that. I came here to have a drink. This is my hotel, actually, and that's the view of Times Square. This guy was kind of funny. He was just fishing for girls. He was moving around to sit near... There was a group of girls here, right to our right. Then when they left and another one moved in, he moved to another seat to kind of be near them. And after about 20 minutes, he would just casually start talking to them. It was kind of funny watching this guy operate, but maybe that's his thing. I don't really know. But hey, there's a nice view from the hotel. Don't worry, guy. I did not out you. We cannot see your face. And there is a better view from... that's the view from actually sitting at the ledge. So, all right, Bevy, have a good night. Thanks for dropping by. Good thing that mod wrench was not super needed tonight. Action Kid says, what a guy. Action Kid's still here. There's the view of Times Square. Yeah, I mean, I could have sat here all night just looking at this. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Walgreens now owns Dwayne Reed. Dwayne Reed was the stupidest store I've ever been to in my life. It was not organized in any way at all. It was 2 levels. Both levels had food. Both levels had pharmaceuticals. Both levels had everything. When I was looking for like the 2-in-1 wash and shampoo, it was nowhere. Like, I tried to find toothpaste. I found the toothpaste. I'm like, okay, shampoo should be around here. Would you imagine that it's not 2 or 3 aisles over, but on another floor in a completely different part of the store? Like, who the hell... They need to hire the guy from... Maybe that's the idea, though. Maybe they want you just endlessly wandering around their poorly laid out store to find... I don't know how New Yorkers deal with it, but... It's ass. Just get the guy who organizes Rexall or girl or shoppers, because it was annoying. It was annoying. I hated Dwayne Reed so much. I just wanted simple things, and whenever I went in there, I couldn't find them, even though you had them. It's a very stupid store. But anyways, enough on that. And apparently they won't. The Dwayne Reed name means so much to New Yorkers, they won't rebrand it as Walgreens. Hey, look! Slightly different exposures and angles. this sign is even more blown out. Are we at the end here? Oh, this is New Jersey. I went to this super posh Greek Mediterranean restaurant, and I felt like I was on The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I have some friends that have a house in East Rutherford. My entire outfit was worth less than any one item of anything any of these people had. The parking lot was just Maseratis, Porsches, Lamborghinis. It was all valet. It was stupidly expensive, really good, but it also felt cheesy. It felt like you're in someone's backyard wedding reception. I don't know. But hey, it is. I forget the name of this place, but yeah, this is where the super snobby elite go to pretend they're better than everyone in suburbia. All right, Michelle Gray, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and watching me have a different kind of stream where I just ramble about New York and how awesome it is. And finally, I had this world-renowned Korean food on my way home. This is a place that Anthony Bourdain went to. That's the jeok, which is like kimchi covered in gochujang and sliced pork underneath. Very delicious, very expensive. But and in New Jersey, they didn't have the vaccine requirement, so you could just walk. In New York, they actually blocked off a lot of restaurants. I don't know if you guys can hear that lightning, but New Jersey, very different atmosphere, very different clientele, I guess. But hey, this was pretty cool. All right, TM. And this is on the highway. We just crossed, I think, the George Washington, and we're heading to LaGuardia. I was nice enough to get a drive to LaGuardia. Hello, Ro. Sorry, Ro, no games this week. Come back next Sunday. We're going to end the stream to watch Jake Paul fight. But yeah, this is the view of the Midtown Manhattan skyline. I think this is all the Bronx to the right of me. I might be wrong. Connie, I can hear the thunder, but I think the Bronx is just off to my right. And the car drop-off. There's a view of the Midtown skyline. There's the World Trade Center, I think, way down here. So this is downtown. This is Midtown. It's weird because in New York, everywhere you look is skyscrapers. But when you kind of zoom out a little bit, you're like, you know, I kind of like Toronto's skyline. I think it's a little more badass. And then you look back at New York and you say, no, it's not. This is way better. But hey. How was the MTA subway? Ro, you missed the talk about it. And go to Action Kid's channel and look at his latest video today if you want to see how the MTA... His live stream too, where he came across feces in the subway. It is remarkable to use with their system of all their different lines and their express trains. It's just unbelievable. But it's also decrepit. Like, they spent $0 maintaining this. But yeah, there's New York from the brand new Terminal B at LaGuardia. And we're back to the start. But yeah, I don't really think New York is comparable to anything. It's one of those cities that it's just so big. It's in a completely different class. It's like when you go to Tokyo or Seoul. Like those cities, or Bangkok, those cities are so enormous. You can't compare them to a smaller city just because they don't have the endless stuff that goes on forever. So, I mean, I think Toronto's an alpha city, but there's tiers of cities. And I think New York and Tokyo, London are in that upper tier, and Toronto is the next one. I think it's called Alpha Cities. I don't really know. Alpha Cities. I think there's a ranking of this. Global City. Yeah, the global cities are the ones at the top. London, New York. Then there's Alpha Plus. Alright, so Hong Kong's probably going to be off this list pretty soon. Singapore, Shanghai, Beijing, Dubai, Paris, Tokyo. And then there's... Where's the Alpha Cities? Where are we at? We are Schroeder. Oh, these are different rankings. So in this ranking, we're 7. The British Asset Management ranked the competitiveness of global cities. The top 10. So we're number 7 in competitiveness. Ryan Rides. I already said that exact same quote earlier tonight. The Steve Martin quote. So yeah, we're up there. It's just these 3 specifically are just beyond compare to any other city, right? They're so much better or bigger. But hey, there we go. That's all I wanted to do tonight was show some pictures, talk about New York City. I am back. Tomorrow's video, I was trying to think of a thumbnail for it. Do you guys like this thumbnail? Let me know. Should that be the thumbnail for tomorrow? I'm literally just going for a walk around my neighborhood talking about Toronto a bit. And what was really cool was the water was exactly the same between Lake Ontario and I think this is the Hudson or the East. I think it's the Hudson. But there's no Photoshoppery here. It was, I mean, the water, I can show you the original photos. This thing, like, edited itself, folks. So I'm thinking, look, here's my original New York photo. And here's the Toronto photo. No, is that the Toronto photo I used? Okay, so you can see the line here. The water isn't perfect. It's a little bit different. But I put the text over that to blur that out. Mark says, should be a pic with you and AK. It's literally a video of me walking around Yonge and Eglinton. But this is the photo that I uploaded it yet? Let me see. It is currently processing. So as long as the 4K, I don't know. I couldn't think of a name either. That name is kind of lame, right? But as long as this video processes in time, this will be the video tomorrow morning. If this doesn't process in time, I'm going to do a live stream at 8 a.m. Providing it's not like raining cats and dogs and grenades are falling from the sky. Well, that might be kind of cool. I'd stream that. But you get the idea. So this video will be tomorrow's, and then I have no videos. I'm not Action Kid. I can't make 3 videos a day. I can barely make 1. And honestly, my legs, I was averaging like 35 to 40,000 steps every day in New York City. Yes, I know I had the transit card, but my feet and my legs still hurt. Like, I have never walked that much before, ever. So, and I wasn't even filming or making videos, so that was nuts. That was nuts. But yeah, you got this tomorrow. I think that's a pretty badass thumbnail of the 2 best skylines on the continent. Sorry, Chicago. I mean, you could easily make the case that Chicago is in the top 2. But for convenience sake, I'm going to say these 2. Action Kid did 3 videos today and walked 28,000 steps. I walked 7,600 steps today, and I did 1 video of around the block where I just blabbed about New York. But I did insert some pictures into my video. So that'll be cool. But yeah, no videos from New York. If you want to see New York, go to Action Kid. Go to Walking Alice. Go to Walking Commuter. Go to Walk Ride Fly. Go to Wall Street Skate Bro. There's all kinds of people who know what the hell they're doing when they walk around New York. And I'll try to do another collab with some more YouTubers pretty soon. We did CJ Hoyle recently, and I'm on Action Kid's channel. I've been talking to Ken. I'm going to try to get together with Ken. I might be going away Labor Day weekend, so pretty soon after. And I'm also supposed to be getting my e-bike this week. The Martel says the audio sounds weird. The Martel says the audio sounds weird. Okay, I turned my mic off. Anyways, guys, we are at 193 viewers, but I'm honestly gonna shut this down right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching my pictures, watching me blab and ramble about pictures. Thank you to the super chatter we had earlier. Thank you to Action Kid for dropping by. The Walking Man Dude dropped by. Action VJ modded. Tech Needs T was here. And Bevy was here. The Walking Man Dude says he's taking Ken down next in arm wrestling. Thanks, Jeanette. Thank you for your support. Patreon users, I will get back to you at some point with replies. I'm just so behind on my messages. And anyone else who DMs me or sends emails, I didn't do shit on vacation, so I'll catch up. Action Kid, you're an incredibly nice person to hang out with and a lot of fun. And honestly, when I hung out with him, we didn't really talk about our channels and YouTube. We just talked about shit like friends would talk about. It was really cool. So I will definitely like to get together again and do another collab. And maybe I'll bring Ken along and we can get him a chance to get an arm wrestle with the Walking Man Dude. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Go watch the Jake Paul fight. Have a good night.